sounds as good.
FM, the clean, fresh sound.
Rise and shine. Let's get ready to take on the day. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
Morning, Ari.
The time is now 7:16 and Vincentians and the Grenadines. Good morning to everyone starting their day today. Those just waking up, those having breakfast on their way to work, school, whatever you're doing. Good morning this morning. A special good morning to those in the diaspora, those always tuning in on the live, those always sending suggestions on WhatsApp, and of course our silent listeners. A special good morning to everyone. You're listening to Ari, and with me in studio is Roleza, and we are activated mornings this morning. Good morning, Roleza.
Good morning, Ari. And how are you?
I'm good and well in the Lord.
You see. So everybody, you notice that I actually asked Ari again how he is, right? Yes, I had to say it.
Not me and that.
I'm from where's Dodon and the Grenadines? Yes, I'm from Dodon and the Grenadines. So yes, morning, Ari.
All right. Before we start today, I have to shout out Ashisia. Today's her birthday. Happy birthday, Ashisia.
Oh, happy birthday, Ashisia.
And my good friend Rondine. Happy birthday this morning, Rondine. Rondine celebrating her birthday in Taiwan, so it would have been yesterday. Continuing into today. But today's the 23rd, so today's what I'm called.
Oh, she's celebrating in 2 days.
Right?
You know what time zone and hers.
Exactly. So this morning I want to begin by acknowledging two Vincentian athletes who qualified for the 51st Carifta Games this year. So if you're interested, the story is on WEFM.com 999 WEFM.com. The headline is two Vincentian athletes already qualified for 51st Carifta Games, and it reads, as of 2024 track and field competition season opens, two Vincentian athletes have already qualified for the 51st Carifta Games to be held in Grenada over the weekend. On January 13th, Tyra Charles opened her 2024 campaign with a run of 24.35 seconds in the U20 Girls 200 meters at the SKN Athletics KFC Classic in St. Kitts and Nevis. The time is also being the time is also a qualifying standard for the World Athletics U20 Championships to be held in Lima, Peru on August 27th to the 31st. Also booking his spot to Grenada was long-distance runner, stalwart Zachary?
I pronounce it Zachary.
Hepburn. I hope I am butchering your name, Mr. Hepburn, who did the feat in the 5,000 meters at the Paminas Ballantine Distance and Jumps Classic on January 20th. He ran 16 minutes of 44.7 seconds to beat the 16 minutes 50.4 seconds standard. At last year's Games, Hepburn finished 9th in the event, while Charles finished 4th in the 200 meters and 5th in the 100 meters. So every time I see we have Vincentians qualifying for the Carifta Games, or whatever is happening, whatever athletic competition is happening, and we have Vincentians qualifying, sometimes placing, it warms my heart, because when it comes to track and field, we just recently had a track and field. I don't want to say stadium, but I guess so. A track and field stadium.
It's a work in progress.
Yeah, we just recently had one installed. We do have capable coaches. We do have capable athletes. And before, the facilities are really held back the athletes. And now, I am really glad to see. Well, we have been qualifying for competitions for years, but it's really heartwarming to see that, as you can see in this story, that both of them have improved. They got faster times, and now they're qualified. And I mean, you only get better with time. And I'm glad that we have a facility at least to help to hone the skills of these athletes.
Okay. Well, I just want to say congrats to them. As I mentioned to you, Ari, before, like I'm not really into sports as much. The best that I did it in secondary school was secondary and primary school was cheerlead. But you know, whether or not I'm into it, I am still extending my congratulations to the students and the students who are pushing and who are trying and you know making their mark and making a name for SVG. So congrats to these two young persons in particular.
Okay, and good morning to Joshua and Anne, who are usually locked in this morning. We're talking Liat next. Presley. And where did my
Loop News.
good old Liat story go?
All right, so the one that I found was on Loop News. So Liat, end of an era, Liat 1974, pay attention, makes final flights across Eastern Caribbean. All right, so reading from Loop News today, or that would have been yesterday. Yesterday, let me see. Yes, it was yesterday. An end of an era, Caribbean Aviation as Liat 1974 is conducting its final flights. The airline's sole aircraft, the ATR 24600, left the VC Bird International Airport in Antigua yesterday morning to begin Liat's final sectors across the Eastern Caribbean. All right. In a social media post, the airline commented, "It's a bittersweet day for us. Thank you to all who have supported us till the end of this chapter, and we look to the future with hope for the new one." So stops were made in Dominica, Grenada, and here in SVG on the final tour. All right. The article continues that in Antigua, the Antigua and Barbuda state broadcaster reported that Liat 1974 flight will touch down at the VC Bird International Airport last night, and it received a water salute. All right, just to continue, skipping over some parts in the article. All right, over 90 members of staff are expected to be impacted by the company's closure. Earlier this month, Antigua and Barbuda's Prime Minister, Mr. Gaston Browner, revealed the majority of the staff are expected to be rehired at the revamped Liat 2020. All right, so Liat 2020 is expected to be a joint venture between the governments of Antigua and Barbuda, Barbados, Dominica, Grenada, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Nigerian airline Air Peace. Air Peace is expected to hold a majority stake in Liat 2020.
Yeah, just a small correction there. The sole aircraft is ATR 42600. That was the last aircraft to make its final descent last night. I'm pretty sure when I was reading these stories regarding Liat that it was Antigua and Barbuda that was supposed to be have majority shares in Liat 2020, but I guess this was the agreement under the partnership with Nigerian airline. But, I don't know. I don't know. I personally not going to miss Liat. I don't know how people generally feel, if it's nostalgic for them, if they feel like Liat could have gone on. Liat, which Liat was this? 1974, it could have gone on. I'm interested to see if Liat 2020 will have new Airbuses, if they will have more affordable flights, if they will have a variety of islands. I am genuinely curious about this because I know Caribbean Airlines are trying to broaden their flight routes and they're trying to go to the Lesser Antilles more. I think Liat was contesting this. I'm not sure. I have to double check, but I'm not gonna miss Liat.
All right, so I'm actually trying because I'm looking for the history with regards to Liat. Now, this would be the second time I think there is a change in the quote-unquote name. So there was a Liat 1974 Limited, but Liat, from what I'm seeing here from Wikipedia, I think it began its operation in around 1957. So they declared bankruptcy in 1974. So that was why it was called Liat 1974 Limited. And now again, there's a change of name to Liat 2020, right? The thing of it is that I don't have to say that I'm not going to miss Liat. I think persons are already missing Liat because of the fact that I think who we have now, is it just what's the name of the airline that's flying now, Ari?
Inter-Caribbean.
Inter-Caribbean, right? And we've heard several complaints about persons flying with Inter-Caribbean. I can't imagine for any, I'm not going to imagine or pretend that having an airline industry within the Caribbean is necessarily going to be an easy one. I think what it is that I would have loved to see is if we had a low cost carrier, in the sense where like hopping on a plane should be easy, right? Because we have islands that are like 40 minutes away from us, 20 minutes away from us, etc. And I've always thought that flying in the Caribbean should be cheaper than what it is. It should be easier for us to hop on a flight. But I also have to contend with the fact that the cost for fuel isn't easy. It isn't cheap, right? And I've heard it being said, the multiple stops, etc. It does take up a lot of fuel, etc. Also, I think one of the things that impacts the cost for the tickets has to do with, is it a landing tax? The landing tax for the different Caribbean countries. Traveling within the region, as I said before, should have been a lot easier for us, in my opinion, right? I should be able to say, let me hop to St. Lucia for a weekend, or hop to Antigua, whatever the case may be. But it does cost money to run an airline. I'm hoping that, I think one of the other things too, as Ari indicated, was that I did not realize that SVG was also going to have shares within the Liat 2020. When I read the article, it was the first time that came to my attention. Is it a case where I want for us as a nation to go back down in this situation? I can't say yes or no. But that the Prime Minister always speaks of the Caribbean civilization, etc. So maybe we're still hanging on for hope that there will be some. You see it? Oh, all right. Good morning, caller.
Yeah, good morning.
All right, Dave, keep it on the 3 minutes, please.
I can say loud and clear that I'm one person who would have missed Liat quite a while now. I've been traveling for some time, but when I used to be traveling island hopping, Liat was that airline that took me around. I enjoy some of their benefits and so on. It is sad. It is a sad. Listen to our local guy here, Mr. Jeremiah Howard, speak about the bittersweet. I can attest to that. It's unfortunate that those who are in charge of Liat could not run it properly. But Liat, it's not, you think serving, providing a service for nearly 100 years. Well, let me say, let's go, 67 years, I think, I heard. To lose the only airline serving the region and to lose that service.
The only airline serving the region?
Hello?
You said the only airline serving the region? Yeah.
For us in the lesser small islands, so to speak. Me talking about Trinidad and Trinidad is the main carrier now and for a while. But Liat was our airline, so I'm just saying that loud and clear. So, and there are a lot of people, if they want to come and talk about Liat, would have good memories of Liat. So, I mean, for you young people, you all don't know anything about Liat.
I used to travel Liat quite a lot, and I don't have good memories.
Well, I have had good memories, so I can say that.
So have I actually. I've never had a bad memory with Liat.
That's interesting.
No,
I'm saying so have I. I've never had a bad experience with Liat. So, yeah.
Yeah, so anyhow, that's how it is. I hope the the new thing they're trying to put in place now could last as long as Liat before. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Dave.
There's a comment there, Liat. Please don't. The company was like a rock balance on a mountain top. You're not quite sure if it will fall off in any chance in the weather. Please don't repeat the same management mistakes. It's a real disaster. Listen, there are a number of times where Liat flights were cancelled, delayed, lose people baggage, the conditions of the flight, what they offered for snacks on the flight. I do not know. I really, truly do not know how people could say they enjoyed it. I enjoyed Caribbean Star, Caribbean Airlines. I would prefer to fly to St. Lucia and get JetBlue, or fly to Barbados and get JetBlue than to fly Liat. I don't know. Maybe I'm in the minority, but I did not enjoy what Liat had to offer.
Yeah. Well, I know of hearing of other person's experiences, but whenever it is that I did travel, I didn't have a negative experience. I think one of the things that we also need to commend Liat for was their safety record, right? Because in all of the years, we've never really had an incident with them in terms of an air safety incident or even a landing issue. So we do have to commend them for their track record.
Star, Caribbean Airlines, Inter-Caribbean.
Well, we're talking about Liat, so as we're talking about Liat and them departing.
We're fishing to compliment a poor service.
No, but then if you're given a positive, speaking of a negative, then you can also speak of a positive.
I think you're fishing for a positive, there, boy, because all the airlines never had issues.
But the others aren't closing, but we're speaking of Liat and them closing or them changing the name. So I'm just commending them for their safety record as well. I'm
interested to see if it's going to change. I remember in 2016, delegation, we went to Taiwan and they split the delegation in two. And some people flew through Barbados, I think, and some flew through Trinidad. And I remember the ministers of government had a delay in their flight for almost a day because of the flight to Trinidad with Liat. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess different people have different experiences.
Right. And that's what I was just going to say is that
it's not nice.
Yeah, some people
generally Liat service was not good.
Okay.
Maybe it declined over the years, but I have been traveling for years and I don't know. It's not been nice.
Yeah. Well, it's left to be seen if Liat 2020 will make a difference, not just in the price, in the destinations, but also in the management style or whether or not the influence of the Nigerian airline, is it Airpeace, whether or not they're going to have an impact in the way in which Liat 2020 is conducted. So.
All right. Well, the time is now 7:33, 7:35, 7:36 roughly. We'll have traffic talk. And at 7:45, we'll be back with Activated Mornings this morning.
Well, that was easy. Get everything you need in one place.